Welcome to Facing the Middle East, our news program where we focus on issues from that region, uncovering stories in context. It's the place you meet people you want to know. I'm Felice Friedson. On today's program, we will meet Moumen al-Natour, the brave leader of the Anti-Hamas movement in Gaza, who spoke to the media line in an exclusive interview. He has a message for President Trump. We visit northern communities in Israel still impacted by the war between Israel and Lebanon. We also report on the Haredi ultra-religious sects who live alongside Arab villages.
Do you trust your news sources? Are you tired of one-sided reporting? You need to know the Media Line to know the Middle East.
The world needs news you can trust.
The Media Line is the first independent, non-profit American news agency covering the Middle East. It's the best-kept secret in the news business. Support the trusted Mideast news source today by going to themedialine.org.
Born in Gaza, al-Natour studied law in Gaza's University of Palestine before traveling to Egypt in 2016. Moumen has lived in displacement camps since 2023. Demonstrations against Hamas have been going on for weeks, but they started back in 2019 when one young, bold Palestinian saw the need to liberate his people from the terror group. In 2019, you protested against Hamas's control of Gaza. What did that accomplish then?
We raised our voices. This is important. We changed the equation. We broke the barrier of fear for the population. We want to live. In all the Arab countries, we saw the same slogans. We want to live. In Yemen, in Iraq, people took to the streets in many demonstrations. They raised this slogan because the demands of life are greater than all the political demands. People need a dignified life. We said we want to live, we don't want to die. This new flow has a different purpose from what we said in 2019. This slogan continues to this day. This is a great proof that we affected society and broke the barrier of fear.
What al-Natour does is very dangerous and risky. We asked what drives him.
Of course, being against the leadership of Hamas, against a radical regime, is very dangerous. But the situation in Gaza forces us to do these things. Before October 7th, the economic situation was bad. Life was not good. The unemployment rate was more than 80%. Poverty rate was more than 60%. The pollution rate was high. There were very limited sources of income. Even the employees, whether in the government of Hamas or in the Palestinian Authority, were getting low salaries. There was not enough money to pay their salaries. We needed a revolution for our society. Society is the foundation of any regime, any government, any state. If society collapses, then the whole state will collapse. We, as Palestinians, have a dream of becoming an independent state. But in an unstable economic situation, which has affected the social reality, the Palestinian goal was broken. We certainly had to be louder than to remain silent about Hamas or other regimes. So, before October 7th, we had to deliver our message that our society is not only Hamas. Society needs to change. It needs a new, serious leadership to find a social solution, not a political one. The political solution comes after society is ready for the state. And society has to have an economy that is developing and sustaining itself. But before October 7th, people were leaving for Turkey to emigrate to Europe. They were looking for illegal immigration routes. They wanted to escape from Gaza. And now, after October 7th, the city of Gaza, or the Gaza Strip, is completely destroyed. The north is completely destroyed. Our loss is that the Middle East, even though it has buildings, is now being bombed by missiles, tanks, and warplanes. The reality is destroyed. Trump's plan is to show that the people of Gaza don't want to emigrate from Gaza. This is not true. Society is destroyed. We need to get out of this state of despair. We need to get out of the hell we are living in now. So today, we must continue our movement against the Hamas government and the revolution against this reality created by Hamas on October 7th.
Can you articulate more on Hamas and the situation now?
في حالة قمع.
There is a situation of depression. I told you at the beginning that the Hamas regime is a radical regime. It doesn't believe in political pluralism. It doesn't believe in opposition. They arrest oppositionists. They killed a young man who was 22 years old. They also killed a man who protested against the arrival of armed men to a refugee school. They expelled them, but according to the stories spread on social media, they came back and killed him. Unfortunately, this strengthens the rejection in this society. Hamas is guilty. Israel is guilty. Even the silence of the whole world about what is happening in Gaza must be addressed.
When the Americans see the Palestinian people in Gaza, many see terrible suffering, but many see those who are with Hamas. Hostages were held in the homes of some Palestinians, but the impression is that the majority of Palestinians are with Hamas. What is the reality?
Hamas does not represent the majority of the Palestinian people in Gaza. The numbers of protesters are increasing every day. Everyone declares in Gaza that they do not want Hamas to remain in Gaza. The hostages are with Hamas, not Gazans, and the homes where the hostages were held are Hamas, not civilians. The suffering we are experiencing is great, and we see hell growing and expanding every day. Staying alive is difficult and costly in Gaza, and the community here is desperate and trying to get out of the impasse that Hamas has put it in.
Why aren't there women in demonstrations against Hamas?
Today, after October 7th, women don't have a kitchen. They don't have gas to light a fire and cook food. How could you find them in demonstrations? They have a more sacred mission, in my opinion, to wake up the demonstrators, to cook food for them. Today, the dignity of women in Gaza is humiliated. I'm sorry to say this, but this is what they can do.
You also said that Gazans can help free the Israeli hostages. How?
As for the release of the Israeli prisoners, I believe that all the people have the right to retaliation. They don't want retaliation in Gaza, so help free them. Kidnapping is immoral. Immoral, yes, because you kidnap a woman, a child. We're against the killing made by Israelis of our women and our children. How can we be satisfied doing the same? And even if we disagree on religion, or if there's a war between us and them, I don't think it's a religious war, and in any way something justifiable to do. The war is between an occupier and occupied people. Our struggle shouldn't be against the civilians. Even in Islam, you don't kill a man or a woman or a child. Even in Islam, the texts are clear. What happened on October 7th is wrong. It's difficult for someone who did this to admit his mistake. They led the people to a war that's not worth it.
In your opinion, who should rule Gaza after the war?
I think there should be a local leader who can lead Gaza toward a just, righteous, and fair government that believes in society more than in politics.
According to you, will the Palestinians be affected in the shaping of the future of Gaza?
Of course. I hope that the Palestinian youth will participate in any decision toward Gaza. Until now, we've seen initiatives, whether American, Arab, or other initiatives, even what Israel demands. But no one discussed with the people of Gaza or any leader of Gaza. No one led them in making the right decision.
Many people throughout the world want to know why Palestinians didn't rise up to Hamas.
The Palestinians in Gaza are different from the Palestinian people in the West Bank or any other areas. Why? Because every part of the Palestinian people has its own interests. Every part has different ambitions than the other part. The Palestinian people in Gaza want to live. They want to live a dignified life. The people of Gaza have a duty to provide good scenes and to keep them away from Netflix and to bring them to their screens for free. Unfortunately, our blood is for free watching. for the winner to decide whether to vote or not. Gaza is surrounded by borders and seaports. Anyone who comes to Gaza and leaves it, Israel knows. Israel knows who lives there. So, what about our destiny? For a while, we have been depending on them. This has been equally a problem.
Do you think that Gazans and Israelis will ever resume their neighborly relationship?
Why not? We call it in Arabic, love after torture. It's an experience. If you keep an enemy in mind, what would it do? Generations will be destroyed. They might not be affected by the war. Some of the big decisions are only for the economy. But our education has been suspended for 2 years. The health system is over. The infrastructure sector is over. The country is not good for life. So we can, after this war, start a period of peace between the Palestinian people and the Israeli people. And this is important. In the Middle East, there is a country called Israel, and we recognize its existence, and the people of Israel. And there are also the Palestinian people, and they must recognize our existence. They must not negate us or say that all the Palestinian people are Hamas. This is their response. You cut off Hamas. Hamas can collapse. Its situation can become tense. But I will collapse immediately too, and I am a civilian. I have nothing to do with Hamas, and I believe in peace with the whole world, not only with the Jews. I believe in peace with Israel as a state, and I recognize it as a state. There is a part of the society that believes in peace with Israel, and it believes that the role of the U.S. in the Middle East is important. Those who believe in politics believe that the role of the U.S. is much better than the role of Iran. We want the role of the U.S. in the region, and we don't want a vacuum that brings the role of Iran to the Middle East again. The axis of resistance is almost over. Now we need development and prosperity. As for me, as a Palestinian, as a civilian, I need everything. The international laws have seen that this is a group in Gaza that believes in peace and doesn't believe in war. We said before October 7th, through hashtags on Facebook, that we don't want war. Today, I'm losing everything. I'm losing hope. I'm desperate in Gaza. And even though I talk about politics and lawyers, the reality is forcing you to leave. So save us. Come and talk to us. Talk to us, whether Americans, Israelis, or others. Talk to us. Know the demands of the civilians. Separate them from us. If Hamas wants to surrender or wants to keep its weapons, this is Hamas's decision. We can't influence Hamas. We could have influenced Hamas, but we didn't manage in November 2023. 1 month of the war was enough to say that we'll lose 100,000 victims. Today it's 50,000 or 51,000. Under the rubble, it could be 10,000 or 20,000. We don't know about the victims and clear numbers. They're missing. They say they're under the rubble. It could be 100,000 or more. We must stop this slaughter.
I spoke with Moumen in a follow-up interview where he told me he doesn't take any measures for his safety because there are no safe areas in Gaza. Danger is everywhere, he says. I just try not to be accessible all the time. Asked if he was contacted by the United States government, he said, unfortunately, no, and I hope that there will be contact between us as soon as possible. We have a lot to discuss to reach solutions that end the tragedy in Gaza. I asked Moumen what he would say to President Trump. Let's talk, he says. Gazans are not Hamas. Hamas is a group in Gaza. He stressed freeing the hostages, but that the Gazan people feel they are hostages to Hamas. Moumen says the Palestinians are capable of managing a safe zone between Hamas and the Israeli army. Moumen al-Natour wants the world to know that there is a group in Gaza that doesn't want war with Israel, only peace.
Do you trust your news sources? Are you tired of one-sided reporting? You need to know the Media Line to know the Middle East.
The world needs news you can trust.
The Media Line's reporters are in the streets of Cairo, Jerusalem, Ramallah, and Sana'a, bringing you stories in context which shape your views and decisions. The Media Line is the first independent, non-profit American news agency covering the Middle East. It's the best kept secret in the news business. Discover for yourself why the Media Line is relied upon by government officials and media outlets worldwide.
Bringing you the stories which impact your lives.
Support the trusted Mideast news source today by going to themedialine.org. You need to know the Media Line to know the Middle East.
Now in our 25th year, your support matters. Israelis living in the north are still in limbo, burdened with the lack of security and a weaponized Hezbollah organization in their backyards. The Media Line's Dario Sanchez and Nathan Klabin take us close to the border with Lebanon.
I'm not planning to live once again, even if somewhere in the near, far future something like this will ever happen again. I don't think I will live again.
Miri Menashe is among those who refuse to abandon her home in Metula, which is just meters from the Lebanese border. Since October 7th, daily rocket fire from Hezbollah has driven thousands from their homes, leaving Metula and Kiryat Shmona as ghost towns. But what comes next for these residents? Before October 7th, around 2,000 people live there. Today, merely 200 do.
There are constant gunshots. There are sirens. There's fear, too. I came here, and there's a lot of fear. We're afraid, but we were forced to come because we need money. We need to live because the situation isn't good.
The supermarket is open, but business is sparse.
Everything just gone, just like that. 1.5 years that we trying to build ourselves again, baby steps. Not a lot of people come here. We understand the situation.
Many residents evacuated to other communities, including Einat Bronner, whose home was hit twice by rockets.
It's like 5 months ago, there was one missile in Shabbat that entered the roof and get the roof out of it. And we had like a miracle because nothing happened really to the stuff we had, apartment, this house. And after 5 days, another missile came and also the same direction. So there is no roof, but Baruch Hashem, all my stuff is still there.
Her husband wants to come back, but she's unsure.
My husband wants to return back. We have a lot of emotions to all this place, but what will be, you know.
Danny Erez oversees the construction of new safe rooms near Margaliot and says the work is ongoing, but sometimes feels futile.
Look, a shelter like this can't save people from a direct hit by an anti-tank missile or a shell. It will simply penetrate inside, go through the wall, and nothing will help. This shelter is meant to protect against blast waves, against shrapnel, and things happened here. These shelters saved lives here. They saved lives during the war. Personally, I feel that people don't feel safe here. They feel that despite all the destruction caused on the Lebanese side, the way they destroyed all the buildings there, all the houses in the neighboring villages, they still don't feel safe. Some of them won't return.
However, Miri Menashe, who served in reserve duty and gave her home to the army during the war, remains firm.
You cannot leave the house. As soon as we leave, it's like we're giving up. So we're not giving up. First of all, I believe fully that this is our land. And plus, you know what? We didn't steal it from anyone. In the year of 1948, there was an agreement that was signed that divided the area. Nothing up to the border is nobody else's than Israel's. So I don't see myself as a settler. I live here. This is my house. This is my kid's house.
Israel's border residents are mixed in what will bring safety.
We think that the war isn't over, and the war will be over as soon as we advance at least to the Litani River, and all this area will be annexed to Israel and will be settled by Jews.
I don't think so. I don't see it like he does, because I do believe in democratic states, and I do believe in the world as we live in, if I can say it like this, because there's rules, regulations. We didn't steal anybody's land, but on the other hand, the Lebanese didn't steal our land. From May 48 up till these days, the borders of Israel were the ones that got smaller, not the countries around us. So I don't think we're stealing from anybody, but I also don't think we need to extend, because this will be occupation in my eyes.
From Metula, Dario Sanchez and Nathan Klabin reported for the Media Line.
News needs trained journalists. The Media Line, the first American nonprofit news agency covering the Middle East, has mentored scores of students from prestigious American universities and around the globe. We are one of the best-kept secrets. Universities are partners. Students receive credit. In order to bring you trusted news, we need support for our future journalists. Please make your tax-deductible gift today. Go to themedialine.org.
Haredi Jews are not all alike. Reporter Giorgio Valente reveals the complexities of this tight-knit, closed community. The ultra-Orthodox Jews, known in Israel as Haredim, have been one of the most closed communities in Israel and one of the least understood. Mea She'arim is one such neighborhood and one of the oldest in Jerusalem. Home to about 30,000 residents, it spans less than 1 square mile. This Haredi enclave, made by groups like Nature Karta, refuses to recognize the legitimacy of the State of Israel, but they do interact daily with Palestinians of East Jerusalem. Some of its residents openly support the Palestinian cause. The Media Line tried to speak to Arab workers and Haredi residents, but many refused to appear on camera. Nestled between the Arab-Muslim villages of Abu Ghosh, Ein Nakuba, and Ein Rafah is the Haredi community of Kiryat Yearim, which has a different posture. Approximately 6,500 people reside in Kiryat Yearim.
We live in Israel, in a country that has Zionist secular views. As an ultra-Orthodox Jew, I'm against these secular ideas. But I will never in my life stand on the side of the Palestinians instead of the Zionists, because the latter is at least our people. The ultra-Orthodox community of Mea She'arim is made of a small number of extremist groups, which not only stand against Zionism and secularism, but prefer to support Palestine instead. This is a big shame. They have Palestinian flags in their communities, just to go against Zionists. I am also not Zionist, and on Independence Day, I do not celebrate at all, but I will never act this way. This is simply not normal.
Both communities coexist daily with Arabs. They connect daily through work, shopping, and leisure activities.
We've coexisted with Arabs here for many years, and according to some of them may even have Jewish ancestry. I don't know much about that, but overall, the relationship is positive. A few days ago, I spoke with an Arab friend from Abu Ghosh. He told me he works with Jews and shared how positive the experience has been for him, especially compared to working within his own community. He gave 2 main reasons: better working conditions and a higher salary. He also said that working with Jews has brought a sense of mutual respect. He explained that with Jews there is mutual respect. Overall, this is a good example of coexistence. Arabs see that they can also benefit from these relationships and build a better life for themselves. Close to us is Abu Ghosh, an Israeli Arab village where both Muslims and Christians live. We also have a neighboring secular Jewish community called Neve Ilan, and we represent a religious Jewish community. We all border one another. We don't have formal relationships, but we certainly don't have any problems, neither with Abu Ghosh nor with Neve Ilan. It's not like this in the West Bank, where people from different communities clash on a daily basis, and there are more extremists. Here, I can walk through Abu Ghosh in the middle of the night, and nothing will happen to me, which isn't the case in other parts of Israel.
Aron, who represents younger religious residents, spoke to the Media Line.
We live alongside the other side, the Arabs who live near us. In my opinion, we don't have a close relationship, but there's definitely mutual respect.
A few miles away from Kiryat in Nakuba is a nargila cafe. It became a meeting point between the Jewish ultra-Orthodox community and its Arab hosts.
When it comes to the nargila in Nakuba, it's much more than just smoking. Many people from our community also eat there and enjoy having different options for nargila.
One Israeli entrepreneur lives in Dubai and frequents the cafe.
I think the Arabs of Nakuba are very friendly toward us, similar to the Druze community. They probably have different views compared to other Arabs in the country, but putting politics aside, I warmly encourage people to visit. They welcome us with open doors, and honestly, the taste of the nargila here is even better than in the Emirates. I've been coming here to smoke nargila for many years. I've tried other places, but this one is the best. It offers great quality at a fair price. It's become part of my routine, and I really enjoy spending time here, smoking and talking with other people.
The popularity of this place among the Haredi community came from a random meeting between Abu Amir, an Arab citizen of Nakuba, and Yossi, an ultra-Orthodox Jew from Beit Shemesh.
A long time ago, my friend Yossi came into our village asking for help, and the people here helped him. He's actually sitting in the shop right now. Back then, he asked what he could do in the village, and he ended up at my nargila cafe. He came in and smoked for the first time. Then he brought a friend, and that's how the connection with the Haredi community began. It all started from a random meeting. Now, most of my clients are ultra-Orthodox Jews, and I serve only kosher products, from food to beverages. The Jewish customers also light the fire before I cook. That's how I met Abu Amir. I sat down to smoke, and at the time I was the only ultra-Orthodox Jew there, surrounded by Arabs. Since then, I've been coming every day.
These places defy headlines. In spaces where ideology divides, reality stitches small seams of coexistence, sometimes in Torah, sometimes in tobacco.
From Kiryat, Giorgio Valente reporting for the Media Line.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Facing the Middle East, where we unlock the hidden truths of the world's most contentious region. We encourage you to read and share our stories produced by our seasoned journalists throughout the Middle East, and invite you to learn what journalism is truly about. Go to themedialine.org for news you need to know and trust.
Trusted news needs trained journalists. The Media Line, the first American non-profit news agency covering the Middle East, has mentored scores of students from prestigious American universities and around the globe.
A lot of what we miss at home is context, a real sense of how complicated the issue can be here. And I don't think it's something that you really learn until you spend a lot of time here.
Who study the profession of journalism with accuracy.
When everybody is talking about fake news, it's really important to have factual-based reporting. Here at the Media Line, that's what they do.
We are one of the best-kept secrets relied on by governments and media. Universities are partners and students receive credit. In order to bring you trusted news, we need support for our future journalists. Please make your tax-deductible gift today. Go to themedialine.org.
Now in our 25th year, your support matters.